This is internet. Okay, so we are live. We're on Facebook, and we are live actually.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Keyna Health Show. It's another time for us to learn about our health, what we can do and take our health to the next level. So once again, on behalf of Dr. Keyna Omeneko, I want to welcome you to this show. I am just the co-host. We have our host who is Dr. Keyna herself from drkeyna.com. And today we are going to be looking into a brand new topic. By the way, before we go into the show fully, we would like to, know your feedback. Let us know how we are doing. So we have the chat. You can just, message us, or you can send your feedback to info@drkeyna.com. We are going to display that in a minute. And also, please note that this is not a radio broadcast. It's not even a television broadcast. This is a social media show. So you can ask your questions, and that is why we have these, panelists over here to answer your questions. So I'm not alone right on the show. We have a lot of people that are ready to just, share for their pool of knowledge today. So let me start from Dr. Bright. Dr. Bright, can you hear me? Why you are still fully with us? So let me see. Dr. Bright, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers in 30 seconds and your role and what you do with David Omeneko Foundation. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Emmanuel. Bright Ugochukwu is my name. I'm the David Omeneko Foundation representative here in Nigeria, and I'm so happy seeing everybody. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Awesome. And we have our nutritionist specialist in the house, Udoka. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, I'm Udoka. I'm a registered dietitian. I have a master's degree in clinical nutrition. So I'm the nutrition person on here, the nutrition expert for any discussions we have related to different healthcare issues.
Awesome. Just like mother, like daughter, you cannot compute the face. So much alike. Okay, Mr. Alex, go ahead and introduce yourself. That's my co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself also to our viewers.
Alex Mahi is my name. I try to coordinate what we are doing here with what is going on in Nigeria, trying to serve as a PA to my big masquerade, Dr. Keyna Omeneko. So we work with her, and as she coordinates and hands over to us, we spread the network and get the ball rolling.
Awesome. We have our biggest and VVIP guest for today. Dr. Choma, go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chioma Ogunedo. I have a doctorate in nursing practice, and I work as a family nurse practitioner, and I do diabetes education, both here and whenever I travel to Nigeria for mission trips.
Awesome. Before we bring in our host for today, All right. I call her a rhino. She's a rhinoceros, you know, and the first show, many of our panelists call her a tough lady. But to our viewers, she's just the host of this show. So, some of us, we don't know whom Dr. Keyna is, and it looks as if this picture is freezing. Is she there? Dr. Keyna, are you there? I think she's trying to reconnect. So she is going to be connecting back with us, and she is the host of this show. But because of our time is, the time runs so fast. I wish I had the remote control to kind of hold the time to pause. So today, let me bring in Mr. Alex to introduce the topic we'll be looking into today, and I will take it from him. Over to you, Mr. Alex.
Yeah, what wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Like he said, we are going to a brand new topic, and what we're talking about today is a very, very important topic because it's a disease that looks common but very widespread. According to the American Disability Act, they say diabetes, which we're going to discuss today, causes more death than AIDS and breast cancer put together. And statistically, the American Center for Disease Control says that at least 79,535 people die every year from this cancer. And so that is why we want to look at it, because it's ravaging both homes here in the United States and those in Nigeria. And I'm very pleased that we have somebody, Dr. Chioma Ogunedo, who has been handling this topic for a number of years, to begin to let us know much about this topic. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Alex. So I think we have the host of the show back. As I was saying, I call Rhino. Rhino, Dr. Keyna Omeneko. Over to you. Introduce yourself to your viewer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I am Dr. Keyna Omeneko. I am a family nurse practitioner, and I have special interest in preventative care. I do a lot of work with cancer, and believe it or not, diabetes is one of those chronic diseases that increases the risk for cancer, and we'll be diving a little more into that. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Okay, without further ado, we spent 7 minutes introducing ourselves. So let's just go right there, right now. At least if you could just mute the line, I think I can hear some background and noise coming in. So let's start. We're going to be talking to our audience, and so I guess the first question we'll be looking into is, what do you mean by diabetes? How do you explain this term to a non-professional or ordinary person out there? Someone doesn't understand grammar, how do you explain this to this person? So, Dr. Choma, take it from me over there.
Hi, everyone, again. Thank you for inviting me to this program. We're going to be dealing with a disease that can be prevented or managed. So I'll have to start, first of all, by talking about what does diabetes mean to the layman out there. If you're new, can you hear me?
Yeah, your sound is a little bit low. Can you?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
if you're new in the health system, or you go to your doctor and your doctor tells you that you have diabetes, some people freak out because they don't know what it is. When your blood sugar is high, you have diabetes, especially when it's been high for a long time. So that's the layman's term of defining diabetes. But if I want to get into the technical aspect of it, which won't make sense for our audience today, it might be somehow difficult. But when your body stops absorbing food because there's resistance in insulin, or your body stops manufacturing insulin, then you can say you have diabetes. So having said that, your blood sugar is high, or you have sugar in your urine. Your question will be, how is it that my doctor knows that I have diabetes? How did he find out? You must be presenting some symptoms before you go to your doctor. Like, for instance, I wake up 10 times in the night to pee. During the day, I'm always running to the bathroom. I'm always drinking water. Maybe it's because of the water I'm drinking that I'm peeing. Or I finished 2 bowls of rice instead of one that I used to eat before. So these are some of the things that will lead you to say, there's something abnormal happening to me. Do you understand yourself? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you've been doing initially that now there's a change? So uh, that will be the synopsis of what diabetes is and what will lead you to say something is changing in me and maybe I may have diabetes. I should be seeing a healthcare practitioner.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome with me, Miss Mabel. Wow, I like this your glasses. Wow, this is different. I mean, this show must be a different one today. Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers and just add to what Dr. Choma has said, talking about diabetes. How do you explain this to a very layman person?
Hi, everyone. I know you've been welcome to the show. My name again is Miss Mabel Omotosho, and I'm a nurse, and you all know that. And well, I think from what I caught her saying when I came in, and I apologize for me coming late. I don't know what happened to both my laptops. I was trying to log on, so I apologize for that. But she did mention the fact that to explain this to a layman person is basically to say that you have excess sugar in your blood. And when you have excess sugar in your blood and we have an organ in your body that is called your pancreas, and your pancreas secretes a hormone that is called insulin. And so when your pancreas is not working well, or it's not, it will not secrete enough insulin, or like she mentioned, she used the word resistance. This is what really puts you in that in a category of diagnosis where it's called diabetes. So simply put, excess sugar in your blood, and you need to seek medical advice. But there are certain symptoms that you're going to be experiencing to be able to say, oh yeah, I have diabetes. And sometimes it's not everybody that exhibits that have to have the same set of symptoms, because I have people say, I am not getting up at night to run to the bathroom, yet they present with diabetes. So we want to make sure that today, as we go forward, that we cover all the signs and symptoms of that diabetes, that everybody will be able to know and to be able to be ready whenever some of these symptoms show up, and they can, simply go to their doctors for it. And sometimes you just need to go to your doctor. Do your annual checkup every single year or every 6 months, and that would help when they draw your blood sugar to be able to tell whether you have diabetes or not just to rely on your signs and symptoms. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Alex, over to you for the next question.
Yeah, we still are talking about diabetes. We have gotten an explanation of what it is from the two experts that have spoken. We would like to know how many types of diabetes you have and which of them is more dangerous. I think
okay. I will not like to use the word more dangerous, but I would like to say we have 3 types of diabetes. We have type 1 diabetes, which we used to call the juvenile diabetes in the past. And we also have type 2 diabetes, which used to be adult onset diabetes. And we have the gestational diabetes. But I think I'll just give a quick synopsis of what type 1 is. Type 1 is usually genetical. You get it, you just develop it from childhood, or some people now get it, as they are growing older. It means that your body cannot manufacture, your pancreas cannot produce insulin. You need insulin to survive. So you need external injection of insulin to be alive. Type 2, your body is resisting insulin, or your body is not producing enough insulin. And the gestational diabetes is the one you get when you're pregnant. You've never been diagnosed as diabetic before, and all of a sudden you're pregnant and they tell you you have high blood sugar. So that's the one that is called gestational diabetes. So if you're asking me which one is more dangerous, I will tell you, if you don't manage any one of them right, they become dangerous.
That's fine.
So there is none of them that is more dangerous or less dangerous.
I would not like to use the word dangerous.
Okay. So
We
what
have
synonyms would you like to use?
box. We like to scare people. Let me do full disclosure. I became a diabetic from being gestational, having gestational diabetes, and after that, I had like 3 years that I was okay before I became diabetic. So I don't like to use the word dangerous. I don't like to scare people about diabetes, but I like them to accept the fact that this is a disease that they have that they can live with. So if you have type 1 and you're not taking your insulin, it becomes dangerous. You will die. If you have type 2 and you're not taking your medications or exercising or eating right, you get into problems. There are, I think we are going to be talking about the comorbidities that can come out of diabetes later in this show. But for now, I just want to let you know that if you do not treat any one of them right, it becomes dangerous for you.
Okay. Also, because we don't have so much different types, we only have these 3 types, so we will not be going over that over and over and over and over. But just to kind of explain this more to a layman out there. So what will you say, okay, the difference, how will you explain these 3 types? Okay, just to a very, and I'm going to call Ms. Mabel to kind of explain the 3, what are the differences between the 3, and how do you know this is the one you have, this is the one you have, or is it possible for someone to have more than one type of this?
No.
Not that I know of, but I just wanted to add to what she has already said. There's another type of diabetes. I know that our audience are very much Google oriented, and they go on to type into Google to find what is called diabetes. They are probably likely going to come across diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus is a type of diabetes that is very, very rare, but because it also shows up with excess thirst and excess urination, this group of people really, their body just can't control the fluid in their body, so they pee a lot. So they will come across that, but it's a very, very rare condition. But I just wanted to bring it up so that some of our audience know that there's something called diabetes insipidus and it exists. And like she explained about the other 3 types of diabetes, the first one she specifically talked about, this begins in childhood. And it's really caused also by an autoimmune condition. And it's they are very much dependent on insulin. Pretty much their pancreas is not doing anything. There's some antibodies that have affected, the production of insulin in the pancreas. And so this has caused them not to have that. So insulin has to be given to them. They have to rely on insulin. Type 2, which is very, very common, that is very well known. Anywhere from age 18 now, we have young youths developing type 2 diabetes, and it goes on. But most likely at age 45, you will see a lot of adults developing this type of diabetes. And that is the one that, I believe we are really focusing on today, because a lot of people kind of seems to think, oh, I'm doing very well. And we know how our culture is. We consume a lot of carbohydrate, and that affects us a lot. So type 2 diabetes, I will just explain to the layman, just like I did earlier on, is that you have excess sugar in your blood, and it has to be controlled either by using pills, anti-diabetic pills, or in some cases they may have to give you insulin as well in addition to your pills to try and control it. Diet can help a lot if you detect that you have diabetes, and if you do some lifestyle changes, which I believe someone like Ms. Udoka is going to go over all that diets, with us today. So that is the way I will really define that one, the type 2. When we talk about insulin resistance, it's just that the insulin, it being produced, but the cells in your body are not utilizing, are not able to utilize it for one reason or the other, because it's the uptake of that insulin to control the blood sugar is not happening. So that is, what is going on. But simply put, for a layman who doesn't know anything about diabetes and wants to know, it's just excess sugar in your blood. And
awesome.
Controlled. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Just for our audience that knows, possibly David Domenico Foundation with cancer and whatever that is related to cancer, and now you are connected to this show and you are wondering, okay, so what are we discussing? We are talking about diabetes here. So what's the relationship? So I'm going to bring back the host of this show, Dr. Keyna, to kind of briefly let us know what is the relationship that David Domenico Foundation has with what we are talking about. And of course, you're a doctor yourself. Then we also have a Dr. Bright here. We thank God that the internet is just cooperating today. So he's going to also be updating us on what is going on with the free mammogram program that is going on. Maybe when he's still right connected with us, we should start from him and then go back to Dr. Keyna. So over to you, Dr. Bright. Just update our audience on the free mammogram that is going on and where are we right now.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Emmanuel. Right here in Nigeria, the mammogram is going well, only that we have some challenges. We're observing the COVID rule at the Everide Center where we are conducting the program. We will have to kind of bribe our way or see what we can do so that our people can get screened, because the crowd is too much. They cannot just attend to you alone because they have their own people, but so far so good. God has been on our side. More than 80 women have been screened. We have 90.
Awesome.
We have 90 women on ground who we have screened and their results are ready. Out of the 90, we celebrate 60 normal results screening, 60 normal. And while the remaining part of it, they were either referred to the oncologist or the surgeon, or most of them have been asked to go for biopsy and also histology, which we have also encouraged them to do. And we also had a lift from Everide too, because most of our patients needed other scan and other things involved. So they are doing it for us free of charge. So we thank God that it has come this far. By Wednesday this week, we are bid to schedule another 30 women on top of the one we are doing. And we are very sure that our target will be hit despite the rush for the Christmas period. Many people are bringing their people. Many people are having what we call yearly overhaul of their people. So that's one of the challenges we are facing. Another challenge we are facing here is the issue of fear. We noticed when somebody said, I want to go for screening, the person is already down that maybe the cancer has come or the cancer has come, but we try to explain to them that this is a screening procedure that you must get for yourself. The same way you have you screen yourself for other ailments, this is just part of it. So we try to encourage them so that they can come out, and they are really coming out in their numbers. Then another one constant testimony or one constant report we are getting is, I don't have money. I heard this is going on free. Thank God it's working. I've come, I've seen, and God will bless the founders, God will bless the donors, and God will bless the foundation. So Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, wow. I have a quick testimony. You know, I've been fasting, I've been praying. In fact, we just completed 30 days fasting and prayer. And Dr. Bright's internet was one of my prayer points. And it worked just fine. So awesome, awesome, to God be the glory for that. Okay, so Dr. Keyna, I believe Dr. Bright has updated us. So now to our audience, so what is, I mean, why are discussing today? Over to you.
Sorry, I mixed a little bit of. I think you want me to explain the
Yes,
connection with diabetes and David
yes.
Medical Foundation. Well, like I explained earlier, you know, health is wealth, and even though we started with our platform with colorectal cancer, we quickly realized that we have to look into other cancers. And in doing so, we found a lot of connection with chronic diseases and comorbidities. And diabetes happens to be one of those diseases that really increases the risk of cancer. It increases the risk of liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, endometrial cancer by as much as 20 to 50%. So that is very scary. So David Medical Foundation, we are taking a holistic approach in helping individuals to be in a better healthy state. So like I said earlier, I'm very passionate about preventative care, and you cannot talk about cancer without talking about other chronic diseases that makes the cancer situation worse. So when we go back to Nigeria, even here in Dallas, David Medical Foundation have different outreaches, medical missions. So we screen for all types of chronic diseases. We screen for high blood pressure, we screen for diabetes, as well as all the other types of cancer. We also screen for cholesterol. So we take a holistic approach in taking care of
Awesome,
our
awesome,
community.
awesome. Yes, before I bring back Mr. Alex to kind of go over to our next question, I want to bring back Ms. Doka to see what kind of maybe she has one or 2 points she wants to add to what has been discussed. We're going to get to the nutrition aspect of the topic, but if there's anything you would like to add to what has been discussed so far, over to you, Ms. Udoka.
Oh, yes. So far, we've just been talking about what is diabetes and how do you know if you have it. And from my perspective, when I explain it to people, I tell them it's like there's the 3 different types, which they explain. But to put in layman's terms, there's a type of diabetes where the actual organ, the pancreas, stopped working. And then there's a type of diabetes where the hormone, your body is no longer responding to the hormone that controls the blood sugar. So there's the organ that makes that hormone to control the blood sugar is not working, or your body is no longer accepting that hormone. And then there's pre-diabetes where, hey, you're about to be diagnosed with diabetes and there's something we can do about it. So that's basically it, and we'll start talking about
Awesome,
what
awesome.
you can
So
do about it.
I guess before we bring Mr. Alex, let's just listen to 1 or 2 of the testimonials of those that have gone through this test with David Omeneko. I mean, talking about the free mammogram that is going on. Let's just listen to 1 or 2.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mom.
Good afternoon.
What is your name?
My name is Lucy Apakama.
Thank you so much for attending Breast Cancer Association event today, 31st of October. This is David Omeneko Foundation representative in Nigeria, offering free mammogram as part of our sustained partnership to BreCan today. Why do you think you need mammogram? Do you think mammogram is important?
Yes, I think it's important. Actually, I've been asked to do it some years back when I was 42 years. I'm 57 now and I've not done it because I've been scared. But for today, I've made up my mind that I'm going to run this test. That's why I think it's important. And I've been having some signs that I overlook, and I've been praying that, that God should please remove them from me. But let me do this thing and do it once and for all.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Do you have a word for David Omenoko Foundation offering you this mammogram free of charge?
Yes, you can't know how happy I am because I have been looking at money, and I know even if I've not gone to ask for how much, those who have gone have told me how much it costs, and I don't think I can afford it. It's a hell lot. So
obi dị m mma nke ukwuu ịhụ na David Omenoko onye Chineke lechara anya wepụta ka onye ụmụ ogbenye aka anyị nwa ndị na-enweghị ike nwee ego anyị ji eme test ya sị ka anyị bịa mee ya free. Asị m Chineke nna ya gọzie ya, gọzie ezinụlọ ya, gọzie ihe niile banyere ihe, gọziekwanụ program ome ka ndị ụwa hụrụ na enwere onye ndị Chineke wepụtara n'ụwa iji nyere mmadụ ibe ha aka ya nwasụ ya. Asị Chineke gọzie ya nke ukwuu. Aha m bụ Atịnya Elo. Obi dị m ụtọ nke ukwuu n'ihu onye ga-asị m bịa mee ihe a n'ihi na o teela m na-echọwa ka m gaa mana ọ bụghị otu o siri ana m asị ndị a mara na ọ chepụtara obere echiche a inyere mmadụ ibe ha aka, asị ka Chineke gozie ha ka ha na-aga n'ihu niile n'ihi na akwụkwọ nsọ si onye na-emere ebere ka a na-emere ebere ka Chineke gozie ha n'aha.
Awesome. So over to you, Mr. Alex.
Yeah, we looked at a layman's definition of diabetes, and we have tried to look at the types as well as the symptoms. I want to ask, what really causes diabetes? Is it hereditary? Or is it because of the type of food you eat? Or will you attribute it that it is a breakdown of certain parts of the body system? Or you must get it with age, or what? So what really causes it? Is it food or what? Chioma, you've been teaching this. Can you let us know what you have been telling people?
Okay. Yeah, we actually touched on some of the causes, which is like Udoka said, your pancreas is not functioning well, or your hormone is not being accepted by your body. But when you talk about diabetes, yes, it's hereditary. Some families, it runs in families. So if you know you have that predisposition, of having diabetes, then that's when the alarm bell goes on. Like I said before, in my family, everyone is alert, and knowing that our parents had diabetes and we might get it. So that's one. Secondly, it can be caused by genetic autoimmune disease, genetic malfunction. Another thing is lifestyle. If you're obese, you do the seafood diet, which is the fun thing we say here, seafood. Whatever you see, you eat. You eat carbohydrates, you load up. Culturally, from Nigeria, we eat a lot of starch. We do. I remember growing up, we'll say rice and beans with chicken. Instead of in America, they will talk about the protein first before the carbohydrates. So we stuff up with starch. So if you're doing that, you're getting yourself close to being either pre-diabetic or diabetic. So yes, it's hereditary in some cases. In some cases, it's what you cause for yourself by eating the wrong stuff. Or it could be due to a disease process. For instance, like Keyna said, cancer patients that are placed on steroids, and patients on steroids have the tendency of having diabetes along the line. And it's not because they were diabetic or they came from families of diabetics, but because of the medications that are taken. So those are things we have to watch out for. diabetes, it's so broad, but I'm happy that we are concentrating on type 2 diabetes, which is um, the main diabetes we are going to talk about today. Like Mabel mentioned, she said from age 35, people are diagnosed with diabetes. But if you look at what is going on now, younger kids are beginning to be diagnosed with diabetes because of what they're eating. We have a lot of people who eat, all these starches and refined sugar, and kids are getting so obese, they're not exercising as they used to exercise in the past. So because of that, they're coming down with diabetes type 2 as young as 10 years. I've seen 10 years old. So that's what I have to say about that. I don't know if Mabel has something I would look at.
Awesome. Miss Mabel, what would you like to add to what Doctor has just said?
Well, I think she has pretty much said, in terms of the causes of diabetes, and we're talking about, the diabetes type 1 or diabetes type 2. Those are the main causes that it's been mentioned. Your pancreas is not working well, or your pancreas is working, it's not producing enough, or your body is not, your cells are not, responding to even the insulin that is being produced. Aside from the when we talk about the genetic type of diabetes, whereby these kids are just either born with it, they're predisposed to it from birth, and so that is where you have that type 1 diabetes, that is, they are so insulin dependent from the beginning. And diabetics, she mentioned steroids, those type of diabetes, which we usually don't even refer to them, I don't think, and you can correct me, Ms. Chioma, as diabetes. Those are induced by medications such as steroids, like she so mentioned. When you're being treated, for example, for asthma, or you have COPD or other conditions, and they have to put you on steroids like prednisone, they will cause your blood sugar to go up. Or sometimes trauma will cause your blood sugar to go up. Burns, can cause infections. Severe infections can cause your blood sugar to go up. Stress can cause your blood sugar to go up. So I don't want us to confuse things that induce, elevated blood sugars with actual diabetes. Thank you.
Wow. I think I'm hearing some terms, new ones, and I think we need more explanation on that. I've been stressed these past few days, so I think maybe I need to check my blood sugar.
That's not what she's saying.
Okay, so explain more.
That's not what she's saying. If you live in a state of continuous stress, like for instance, you have a sick person in your family, you're not sleeping well, especially sleep. You're not getting up to 7 hours of sleep a day, and you keep running on that cycle. I mean it. With time, you will start seeing your mental states change. Your blood, you become hyperglycemic because everything in your body is misaligned. So that's what she means. Not because you were just stressed for 2 days.
But let me also add that some patients, after being treated with prednisone, they can become permanent. They can become diabetics. Sometimes within the period of the treatment, the sugar will generally come down, but some people will eventually become diabetic just from that one episode of treatment or more treatments with steroids. So yes, there are steroid-induced diabetics, and
let me keep this when they are during this COVID-19, and there's this African concoction now that people prepare and drink, ginger, lime, add everything together. So I have a doctor friend in Nigeria that was tested positive, and of course I was recommending my own concoction to him that, okay, this is what you need to take. I sent him some videos, and of course the wife told me that his blood sugar went up because number one, he is diabetic, part of my prescription for him is that after you prepare all of this, add honey to it. And so adding honey to all of this concoction together, instead of helping, I mean, to take care of COVID-19, but then
You're lucky in Nigeria.
so the blood sugar also went up. So when you told me that, I had to tell you, okay, please stop everything and listen to your doctor. Then I started praying for him. So what do we have to say? What do we have to say about people that are doing self-medication? I mean, like we have all of this stuff going on right now. People prepare. I want Doka to kind of possibly start with that. You cook all this concoction together, and I mean, it's taking care of COVID-19,
but then you get diabetes.
You are adding another thing. So what do you have to say?
So can you repeat the question again?
So the question is, with all of this concoction, I know you might not be used to it, like all this concoction for anti-COVID-19 concoction version 9 or Emmanuel's version. People have different regimens. My wife has her own recipe. And one thing with African concoction is that there's no dosage. You drink it. What do you drink in the afternoon, you drink at night. What do you have to say about all of this?
Oh, like natural, just trying to fix the issue yourself.
Yes, and also adding honey into all the concoctions too.
Oh, for COVID.
Yes.
Well, I guess people will always make up something like to cure, but
okay, I know my question caught you unaware because it's not in textbook.
I know.
And it's not and it's not what is discussed in hospital. But these are realities. These are what people are going through. These are what people are doing, and they don't know. You cook all these things. Pineapple is sweet on its own. It adds more sugar to it, and you have honey. So maybe Dr. Keyna wants to help.
If somebody is going to make their own home remedy, there's no need to add sugar to it. It's not going to taste good regardless. So if you're going to drink it, just drink it. But yeah, when people are adding sugar to those types of home remedies, I don't see the point. It's bad enough in the situation that you feel like you have to have the home remedy, but adding sugar will just make it worse.
Who wants to add to what she has just said?
Yeah, well, I wanted to add, anytime you're doing home remedies, and you just have to be very careful, because herbs, a lot of them, they have sugar. There are different things that if you're even on medication, you have to be very careful, what supplements and what remedies you're doing at home. You just have to make sure that you check with your doctor and make sure that there will not be interactions. But a lot of people, even when they do juicing or smoothie, they'll pack it with all the exotic fruits, your pineapple, your mango, all the sweet things. People do not realize, and I'm going to let Udoka talk about diet in a little bit, but fruits, you have to be very careful with fruits because those can raise your sugar. And I know back in the day, they used to tell everybody, eat fruits and vegetables, but that's not the case anymore. You have to find out how much sugar or the fruits and the vegetables and the food that you're eating. And I will let Udoka talk about low glycemic index. All fruits are not equal, all vegetables are not equal, and all foods are not equal. And she's an expert on that, so I'll let her take care of that later.
Okay, we will come back to that, but I still want us to hammer on this because I'm a living witness. Okay, a few months ago, I think around April or May, when everybody was so scared of COVID-19, people are still scared of it. And I discovered that will add honey to all these precautions. Okay, I'm being realistic here. Then I check my blood sugar. I noticed it was 220, and I said, really, this is wrong. Immediately I told my wife, I said, okay, I'm still going to be drinking the anti-COVID drink, but no more honey. But people always say that okay, local honey is medicinal, right? So how do we balance this? Okay, I want Dr. Choma to say something in clinical. I see the way she's nodding her head. Then Miss Mabel. Then I want us to be practical because this is what people do.
Yeah, you know what I have to say is this. If you, no matter what you have, whether high blood pressure, like Keyna said, or diabetes, whatever disease process you have, you should take a seat and think about yourself at this time. You cannot just be doing home remedies because you don't know what is the content of what you're eating. You should consult your healthcare practitioner so that you guys can reach an agreement on what you're eating. And another thing is that, unfortunately, most of the people we have in Nigeria, they don't have scales. So if you have diabetes and you're not checking your sugar every 5 minutes, you don't even know what you're eating. So if you're just doing finger food once every 3 months and you're drinking honey from today to tomorrow because of the local honey fat that we have, it's not helping you. So you just have to stop, think, have goals, specific goals, realistic goals, goals that can be changed. So if I'm going to drink honey, 1 teaspoon of honey this morning, that's where Udoka comes in. And I'm also going to eat 3 slices of bread. I'm killing myself. So please, I will say on this webcam that we're having, if you have diabetes, do not take anything you're not sure of until you consult with either your nutritionist, your doctor, or someone who has the knowledge of what diabetes is all about.
Awesome, awesome. Miss Mabel, you want to add to that?
What I just want to say is, just in addition, honey is referred to as a simple sugar, and it's also a source of carbohydrate. So when we're talking about high levels of carbohydrate, I mean that translates to excess blood sugar in the body. So we need to be careful. Also, people need to read their food labels. There's a lot of honey also that have added sugar to it. So when you look at your food label, it will tell you how many grams of sugar. So if you're a diabetic and you are watching your calories, you are watching, your consumption of sugar, that is a good way to know how much sugar you are consuming when you are looking at your food labels, like the on your honey bottle. So be very, very careful. It will raise your blood sugar.
Awesome, awesome. So I will bring back Mr. Alex to invite Udoka as we go transit into the diet aspect. I know our time is fast spent, so over to you, Mr. Alex.
Yeah, Udoka, we've been talking about diabetes and we've been able to examine a number of processes and a number of symptoms and what causes it. And so I want you to get right away into prevention. If somebody has diabetes, can it stop at a point in time if you change your lifestyle by eating certain types of things recommended by nutrition? Or can you stop diabetes even from attacking you right from the onset, depending on how? So how can you stop diabetes from even attacking you?
That's a very good question. So there's three, like we mentioned, three types. So we have to look at it three ways. Before we can get into that, first you need to understand how will you know if you have diabetes. And we talked about signs and symptoms, but how do you really, really know? And it's a blood test. It's called A1C. So next time you go to the doctor, ask if you can find out what is your A1C. That A1C number is like the average of your blood sugar level. Like your blood sugar is different at any minute of the day, of any day. But if we were to kind of get a snapshot of a 3-month average, that is what that A1C number tells us. And you know you're doing well if your A1C is 5.7 and below. That is normal. You know that, okay, I'm not at risk. If your A1C level is 5.7 to 6.4, you have prediabetes. Prediabetes is generally considered to be reversible. It means you don't have the diagnosis yet, but you're there. You're getting there. How we reverse it is through lifestyle change and diet. Some doctors may prescribe a medication at that point as well. It just depends on you and the doctor. But lifestyle change will help. And then once your A1C is above 6.4, you have diabetes. In the nutrition world, there is an argument of, well, if you've been diagnosed once, but you've brought down your A1C, can you say that you reversed it? Or because you've been diagnosed, you always have it for the rest of your life? There's argument about that, but the main thing is that number, that A1C number is what you want to live by. So let's talk about prevention. First of all, when we talk about prevention, we're talking about preventing type 2 diabetes, because if you remember, type 2 diabetes means your body is not accepting the insulin hormone that controls your blood sugar. Type 1 diabetes means your organ is called the pancreas. That organ that is supposed to release insulin is not working. And so if we're dealing with that one, how to prevent that one is a different discussion. But for type 2, we can talk about preventing type 2 because it's about making your body receptive to it. What makes your body to stop responding to insulin? It has a lot to do with your body fat. Fat doesn't just, affect your appearance. If you've been wondering, well, we know that adding weight isn't good for you health-wise, but how? Why? This is one of the ways. The fat can actually distort the receptors that accept the insulin. Once those receptors are distorted, it means it's kind of like if you have a key to your house and you unlock the door just like normal, everything's normal. But one day, somebody took a hammer and dented your keyhole. So you try to put your key in and it's not fitting anymore. You can't get into your house. That's exactly what fat does to your body. It makes it so that the insulin, which is the key, cannot unlock your cells to now accept a sugar to reduce your blood sugar. So maintaining a healthy weight will help make sure that that keyhole stays the size it needs to be to start to accept the insulin. So a diet that helps you to maintain a good weight will help with that. And then there's people who, there's skinny people with diabetes too. And that has to do with, okay, what kind of diets are we eating? We've handled keeping your weight down, but now we need to talk about what kind of foods are you eating that is still increasing your blood sugar. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I don't know if I have time to get into that.
As we know that diabetes is a very wide topic, which we might not be able to exhaust everything today. It is not A to Z kind of a syllabus or curriculum. It's for our audience to actually get something and go home with and work with. And I want to believe that we've done justice to that. We have 6 more minutes, but I want to be a little bit, I want to address Christians out there. I want to address believers out there. In fact, in church today, one of the topics that we treated during our Sunday school was actually healthcare. There are this group of Christians, believers that believe that, okay, maybe using medicine or going for medical attention means that you don't believe in God or your faith is not enough. No, there is a place for God to take care of things. Just like when your car is faulty, you don't begin to speak in tongue and don't call your mechanic. Or so the same thing. So your body also, the Bible makes us to understand that it's the temple of the Lord. Okay, so if you feel anything wrong in your body, there is nothing wrong. And I'm speaking to Christians out there right now. So there's nothing wrong in you meeting with your doctor, consulting your doctor, and just give me just 1 minute to kind of a little bit speak about this. You see, this morning we talk about healthcare, and we say healthcare is the maintenance or improvement of health via the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of disease, illness, injury, and other physical mental impairment in human beings. The Bible wants you to be in health and encourages us to take care of ourselves when we are sick. And even when you are not sick, Bible wants you also to prevent all of that. Proper attention should be given to any healing part of our bodies. Time will fail us to start reading Bible passages, but you can write that down. Isaiah 1:5-6. The goal is to keep the body fit as much as possible in order to fulfill the purpose for living, serve, and glorify the Lord. Isaiah 38:19. So when you read all of that, you believe that even it is God's desire. It says, I wish above all things that you be in good health, even as your soul prospereth. Dr. Keyna says something, say health is wealth, right? Even though she's not the one that invented it, all of us will know the word. So, but you need to take care of yourself. You need to should I hear the word amen from somebody? You agree with me, you just nod your head. Hallelujah. Okay. So as we begin to round off, okay, somebody is out there. He or she just joined the program and doesn't really know what we'll be talking about. But you want that person to go home with just one thing. Just one thing. In these 3 minutes, we're going to be giving just 1 minute. What would be your okay, this is your take home from today's show. I'm going to start from Miss Mabel.
Ooh. Well, thank you so much. What I just want individuals to know, diabetes is not new. Diabetes has been around forever. It's a chronic condition. Basically, we need to take care of ourselves. I want us to know that the CDC, especially here in the United States, says that there's 34 million Americans that have diabetes. That is in about 1 in 10 people.
Wow.
1 out of 10. That is huge. And also, there's about 88 million people that have what we call the pre-diabetes. So I want individuals to take it seriously. Worldwide, according to the World Health Organization, it says that in 1980 to 2014, diabetes went from 108 million to 422 million.
Wow.
So that is how serious it is. 108 to 422 within that short period of time. So I want people to know that this is a serious condition. I want you to look more into it, and I want you to take care of yourselves. Diabetes is real. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Over to you, Ms. Udoka.
The takeaway that I would say is if you have diabetes that runs in your family or you are overweight, go get your A1C checked, and I would do it 4 times a year. In the US, you can actually buy a device at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart that will allow you to check your A1C. And if you don't have those type of stores near you, next time you go to the doctor, ask, how can I get my A1C checked?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Choma.
My main concern tonight will be for our audience from outside of the United States who suspect that they have diabetes or know that they have diabetes. Please go and seek out a caregiver or clinician that can diagnose you and put you on treatment or tell you what to do. Just know that if you work hard and think about yourself and be selfish for once in your life, just say, I am going to take care of myself by doing what my doctor has asked me to do, or a nutritionist has asked me to do: exercise, diet, take my medications, and pray to God. Remember, it's not just saying God, I forbid, because that's what they used to tell me at medical missions. It's not my portion. It's nobody's portion, but once you have it, you have it. So take care of yourself. Your diabetes can go into remission. That's what I want to touch about on, because Udoka mentioned it. You might not be cured, but it can go into remission. By going into remission, you get to a point at which you won't be taking medications again. So try to take care of yourself, get to that point of remission, and not be on medication, but modify your lifestyle by eating healthy, eating, exercising, sleeping, and meditating. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to bring Mr. Alex, my co-host for today, not as a co-host now, but as one of the panelists today. Or what will you say is your take home from what has been discussed so far?
Yeah, from what I have learned from for the learned experts, first is get yourself diagnosed, and second, follow strictly a treatment plan. Simple.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, before I bring back our host to give us our own final word for today, I hope you know the host. I'm not the host. I'm a co-host. So join me. All right, join me to bring back the host for Keyna Health Show, Dr. Keyna Omenoko.
Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel. I just want to, I know we ran out of time and we didn't have time to discuss what are the complications of diabetes. I want everybody to know that diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in America. Diabetes is the #1 cause of kidney failure, where you have to be on a machine. And I want those in Nigeria to remember that dialysis in Nigeria is expensive. You can't even find many places to go get dialysis. So people with renal failure, kidney failure, just simply die in Nigeria. Diabetes is the #1 cause of limb amputation, because when you get ulcers on your legs, it just leads to amputation. So it's the #1 leading cause of blindness. You can go blind because of diabetes. So with all that said, preventative care is the way to go. Get your A1C checked annually, go to your doctor annually, because they will do the blood work and will identify whether you're a diabetic or not. I want to thank you all for being on the show again today. And I hope you're all getting great information on how to live healthy. Thank you.
Awesome. And just as we round off, as you all know, my name is Pastor Emmanuel Adibola, and even though this is the Keyna Health Show, we're talking about medical, but I still believe also there's a role for God to play also in our health. So it's possible maybe you are connected with us and you just feel that, okay, what the doctor has said. In fact, one of these days, we'll go come back on this show to discuss the fact and the truth. Because sometimes also the doctors will say some things and God will override it. I hope we all agree with that. So it's possible you are out there, maybe you have a kidney failure, renal failure, or whatever kind of failure that the doctors have told you that you have. It is actually the fact. But the truth also is with God, because it's just like when our car is faulty, you can take that car to the dealership and the dealer will change the whole thing for you and you will have a brand new one. So the same thing, you have your health issue, You can take your body, your life to God, and He can give you a brand new kidney, a brand new pancreas, a brand new everything. If you believe with me, say amen. So this is Emmanuel Adegbola signing out for today, and we will see you next 2 weeks. Awesome.